Okay, so I find myself in my car a lot. I was actually talking to a friend recently on Marco Polo, and I was talking to her about how much joy I find in being able to kind of be in my thoughts while I'm driving, being able to video chat with other people and really kind of dig deep into myself and my life and my work. And I think that's what I enjoy the most about driving. So I feel really weird making a little video to myself or to whoever. If I end up posting it, I don't know. But I kind of wanted to put some of my thoughts on a video. I had an important person in my life once ask me, do I believe, and we actually turned this into an interview question, do I believe that the criminal justice system is more of a punitive system or a rehabilitative system? We kind of twisted that question a little bit for the interview purpose to ask, should the criminal justice system be more of a punitive system or more of a rehabilitative system? And it was interesting to hear people's answers, because generally most everybody in the interview would say that it should be more about rehabilitation. And having worked in criminal justice for probably about, I'd say almost 12 years, that is not true. I think that those who get into corrections have the initial thought process that they want to help people. Maybe they want to be cool in a uniform. Maybe they want to be a policeman later. Maybe they have no idea why they're doing it. That was me. They just know that they want to do something different. And what a different beast it is in corrections. So I'm imposing the question to you of, what do you think the criminal justice system really is? Is it for punishment or is it for rehabilitation? And then I kind of just wanted to touch on some of my thoughts about it in this video that I have no idea who I'm going to send to. Maybe I'll just watch it again myself. So I got into corrections in 2008. I'm not going to talk about any of the different places that I've worked. If you actually see this and you know me, you know where I've worked. I've worked in 3 different county jails in the state of Indiana. And I initially got into corrections on a complete whim. I did not know anybody in law enforcement. I do not have family in law enforcement. I truly got into corrections, number one, to get away from the job I was at, just because I was tired of it. And number 2, because I was incredibly sensitive. When you think about an emotional girl and crying over everything and really kind of lost as a 25-year-old girl, and I say girl because that's what I was. I mean, I was inexperienced in life and in relationships. I was selfish. I was self-absorbed. I was all the things that a lot of times young people go through, and I think that's normal. I think it's either that or I'm just telling myself that, right, to make myself feel better. But all the things that I find negative now that I look back. And so I started corrections to kind of harden up, right? Like, you go into corrections and you're around all these big, scary criminals, and if they call you names, you don't want to show any emotion. And that's initially why I got in there. I also had the thought process of, oh, maybe I can do something different with my life. I tried the college thing, wasn't for me. I had already been married and divorced. I like to have a good time with my friends, and that was the highlight of my life. I'd been in a couple serious relationships after my marriage, and nothing was working out. So let's just do something different. So I did, and when I got the call that I got the job, I couldn't believe it. Like, somebody's gonna hire me to wear a uniform? Like, are you serious? And then I found out they're gonna give me a gun. Like, this is the way corrections works, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a background check, and I didn't have a criminal record. There is, you know, they check all the things, and yeah, I had a lie detector test, or actually it was a stress test that I had. I think a stress test or a lie detector test. I don't remember. But I had to sit through that, and I passed it. Okay. And I get the job, and I have no idea how much bigger this job is than what I'm thinking. Like, it's a, you know, I only work half the year. I'm working 12-hour shifts. Pretty cush schedule, right? Like Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday 1 week, Wednesday, Thursday the next. I work half the year, 12-hour shifts. I got put on overnights, and then I went to training, and I breezed right through it, no issues. Not because I'm really smart, but because the training sucks. I mean, you are put in charge of other people's lives, other people's well-being, other people's mental space, other people's needs, worries, wants, all of the above. I had no idea what I was getting into. So I wanted to toughen up, and I wanted to help people. Those were my goals. Toughen up, help people. All the while I was still living my normal life the other half the year that I was off work. I wasn't very responsible at that age. I learned really quick that I needed to be. I learned really quick what it meant to help people, and giving them toilet paper and booking them into jail, and, you know, sometimes passing through to make sure that they weren't feeling suicidal, or maybe I didn't even know if they were suicidal. That's how I took care of people. And I realized really quick that was not enough. It wasn't enough at all. We as a nation, as a state, and if we want to go to local levels, we're not doing enough inside of jails. We are not doing enough. We are, per jail standards, Indiana state jail standards, you know, they give us the minimal things that we need to do. We need to make sure somebody has clothing. We need to make sure somebody eats 3 meals a day. We need to make sure that they have bedding, and they have access to religion, and they have access to paper and pen, and access to the courts. Now, we think nothing further about this. We do the minimum. We do the slightest little bit for these people, and I don't mean these people as a stigma. If you know me, you know that. These people are you and me. These people are our parents. These people are our children, our family members, our friends. They are people that I know. They're people that you know. They are people that we grew up with, people we went to school with. They are people that bleed the same color as us. They are human beings with needs and wants and medical needs, and we take care of those things, but we do not take care of mental health needs. The criminal justice system, even though a lot of us think that maybe it should be about rehabilitation, it is probably the furthest thing away from that. We are not offering the services that they need. We are not trying to help them get in touch with rehab, with outpatient services, with mental health services. We are not doing it as a country. I don't even think we're not doing it. We are doing the minimum, and that is probably the worst thing that we can do, Because now we have a bunch of like-minded, drug-addicted people that usually have some sort of comorbidity of mental health and addiction problem, and we're throwing them all in a room together, and then every time they screw up, every time they don't get something that they want, every time they get into a fight, every time somebody else brings drugs in and they use it, we slap them with more charges so they can stay there longer. And then maybe they get to go do a prison bit. And if you know anything about the prison system, you know that it is easier to find drugs inside of a prison than sometimes it is on the streets. So there is a breakdown. There is a huge problem in the world. And I don't know how to fix it. I know that I want to. I know that I'm willing to help others, even if it's just one at a time, even if it's just one out of a year. I'm satisfied with those results. But I can't help but think that as a society, as communities, we should be doing more. Everybody should be working towards the same goal. Correctional officers, I'm talking to you. You should be working towards the same goal. If you are doing a round inside of a jail and you see that somebody that you see every other day having a good time is having a bad day, something as simple as asking if they are okay could go a very long way. I encourage you to do that. If you are a local leader in the legal system, if you are a Republican, if you are a Democrat, if you are a prosecutor, if you are a judge, if you are probation, if you are community corrections, and you're not doing all that you could be doing for those that are under your care, you are wrong. And you need to be. You have to ask questions. You have to call places, outpatient, inpatient. If somebody fails a drug test under your watch, your job is not to simply throw them back into jail. Your job is to find them help. What does that mean for you? What can you be doing? Oh, well, my work doesn't want me to do X, Y, Z. My job, advocate. Advocate, advocate, advocate. Why aren't you? It's your job. Community corrections, probation, I'm speaking to you really, really big right now. Your job is to not allow them to piss hot. Is it their fault? Absolutely. Does addiction just go away? That's like asking somebody who has high blood pressure, if they don't take their medicine, if it's just going to go away. It doesn't go away. We need to be doing more than what we are doing. And I encourage every one of you to make it a goal in your career, in your job, to help that one. Sometimes they're not lying. I think that the stereotype of somebody who's a drug addict is that they're always lying. Don't get me wrong, they lie. They lie and they manipulate, but not always. I hate to resort to this because I'm sure you've probably heard it before, but nobody is ever asked by their kindergarten teacher what they want to be when they grow up, and they say that they want to become an addict. It doesn't happen. It doesn't matter, who their parents are. If their parents are addicts, they don't say that when they're 5. They say that they want to be a police officer. They say they want to be a fireman. They say they want to be an EMT. They want to be a doctor, a nurse, a teacher. There's so many other things, right? They don't normally say, I want to be a drug addict, because nobody wants to be a drug addict. Is it a choice to initially use drugs? Yes, it is. Is it a choice to continue using drugs? I don't think so. I really don't. I just want to encourage those who are involved in these kind of positions to remember that not one way of rehabilitation works for every person. Sometimes it's exercise, sometimes it's yoga, sometimes it's cognitive behavioral therapy, sometimes it's MRT, sometimes it's Jesus Christ, sometimes it's church setting, sometimes it's recovery groups. We don't know. We don't know what it's going to take, but it is our job to figure it out. So I just wanted to challenge everybody to remember that. And I know this is incredibly long-winded, but these are things I think about every day. So take care of yourselves and each other. It's everybody's job to help everybody else.